Welcome everyone. This is Jashwant. This is the fourth day of our Oxygen Build a Bootcamp, and today we are starting early. You know why we are starting early? We are building a temporary solution for everyone to access the bootcamp links. Yesterday we were struggling to create a user login, which we wanted to have a solution which can redirect the users to a very specific page that was not like I was using another plugin to do that. Even today I will be using a paid plugin. So it is Oxy Woo by Chinmay Paul. So this is not sponsored or anything. I just use it. I asked him about some other things, like I'm having a problem with it. Then he confirmed that we need to have WooCommerce already installed. So as we are going to have a complete module, yes, we will have a complete LMS and also a WooCommerce module on our website. So why not just install it already and just use the plugin that Chinmay made? The plugin has so many features in it. If you want to check that once, it's called Oxy Ultimate. In Oxy Ultimate, we have to go to Oxy Ultimate Woopack. This is what we are going to use it. So I have downloaded it. I had the license key for it. I have activated it. So one thing I just understood right now is when you're using Oxy Ultimate, even the normal version or Oxy Woo, even this or this, you need to activate the license before you start using the products or any of these features. If you want to use add to cart, so any of it, if you want to use them, first you just make sure that you've already activated the license. So I did not activate the license, but I was just trying to understand why it's not working. So I have already created one login page. Let me just show what. So this is a custom login page. Let's edit this page with Oxygen. Okay, let me add a banner saying bonus stream temp. Come on. Temporary solution for receiving emails. So that's what we are doing. Okay, let's make. How can I make this a ticket? So that is a little in non-interest. Okay, let me just go full screen. And let me know when the time is up, like yesterday. I will be happy to stop it and continue with the normal stream. Welcome everybody. Hello. Okay, where are we? So we are building, so we opened this page. So let me just get rid of this. We don't need this here. That's fine. Now what we want to have a section. Let's say in that, let's add a heading. Let's call it login to continue. Have a heading. Now we have to add a login component. So you can check that we have login component from Oxy Ultimate and also from Oxygen. To make it easier, go to Oxy Ultimate Woo, then click on login, then you will get the login form here. So this is not great, this is not bad, but I think it is just gets the job done. So this is how it will look on the front end. Maybe we can just make some changes here. So Chinmay Paul, whenever he makes anything, there is so much of options everywhere. So make sure you are trying properly using them. So here it is saying that we are going to go to my accounts page after it is redirected, like after the user is logged in, where you want to take him. We want to take him to a custom page. So the custom URL, we have so many other URLs. Let's see what do we have. So Bootcamp live links is the page that we want the user to go. Now let's add that link. So that's where. And do you want the process login to be Ajax, or so if it is Ajax, I don't think we will be able to see a page load. So that's what we want. We want the experience to be seamless. So after he clicks on submit, if it is right, he will be automatically taken to this page, but there will be no page redirection. let's add some styling here. So this is section. What we will do, we will just wrap this inside a div. We wrap this inside a div. Like div does not take the normals. So let's just make it 100%. It's fine, it's fine. And let's add some padding to this, maybe like 20 on each direction. And now let's add a background color. First thing we have to do is create some difference. We will add some bluish color to it. Now to the div we will add some white color to create. Okay, we want the white to be our global white, pure white. As always, we have two classes, utility classes that we have created. We'll use border radius to add some border radius, and box shadow to add box shadow. Now this looks okay. So this is login to continue. Let's just check how this works on. Let's just see how this works here. So when we go to custom login, we're able to see this section, but maybe let's see how it looks on the mobile screens. This looks good, but what we will do is we will just keep the width as okay. What are you saying now? Okay, what we want to do is we will make this entire screen of the same color. So, and also we need to change this. Okay, where do we change this? We have to go to mobile 768 and see, or we can just go to 480, which is the smallest thing, and make changes accordingly. This looks fine. And let's also center these elements. To center, we will know how to center everything. To select flex to center everything. So that looks okay. Now what were we thinking? We were thinking to make everything with like length to be space and sizing. We want the height to be view height of 100%. So this content is taking 100%. Now if we want the elements also to be centered, like horizontally centered, like vertically centered, we just go to layout. We already centered them horizontally. Now how to center them vertically, so they are centered now. Maybe do you like this or you don't like this? Maybe what we will do is after in 768, I think this looks fine. Just let it be. Let's go to the incognito browser and let's see how it is looking there. Where is it? Did I just close everything? Did I close things? It looks like I've closed it. Okay, it doesn't matter. So this is the login we created for our users to use. They can click on remember me, and let's just try one thing here. What I will do is I will get my okay, I will get my the password for just1ch.me. Let me try that here. Just1ch. I think this is like because I already entered it. Now if I click on login, it just automatically takes me to the link. So this is the day one, this is the day two link, so on and so forth. So it's getting my username. Now I think we have to add a logout button, or like let's not add logout button. Let's just keep it like here. Like there is no point in logging in, like no point in logging out. So we will not add a logout button right now. Maybe after we work on something else, then we will add one thing. Let's just close the incognito, which clears all the cache. Like the cookies will be done, the cache will be gone. Now let's open it again. Now what we will do is we will let's go back. So let's see where this link is going. This is going here, right? So let's open incognito browser and just see what will we get here. So if you are not logged in, you won't see anything here. So what we will do is we will add some prompt to it saying that you need to be logged in to access this. So this is bootcamp live link page. Let's edit this with Oxygen. Okay. So we are thinking of adding some message if the user is not logged in. Now let's go to section. Let's add the same styling that we have here. Let's add the same background. Now let's add a heading. And this section will be visible only for the people who are user logged in is false. So if the user is not logged in, only then he will see it. So if the user is logged in, he won't see this. You okay? You need to be logged in. Let's also add something here. Please, okay. Text. Let's add text link. Okay. Let's not add a text link here, but let's add some text. That text, let's write. You need to purchase the bootcamp to get login details. Right? Everyone needs to buy it. If you're already watching this, it's fine. You need to be logged in. You need to purchase the full bootcamp to get the login details. And now let's add our button. I think I added a button class somewhere. It's not that. Let's okay. These are not the buttons that I created. So it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. We need to add some padding. Margin here, 20 pixels. Looks good. Everything looks good. I think everything is fine, right? We have to add a button here. So let's set this. We want this to be home page. We can get the data. Okay. Check out 6 days WordPress bootcamp. Well, okay. I know my website name. This is our website name. It opens here. I think everything is fine. Okay, let's add some border radius to here. And also box shadow. I missed something somewhere. So box shadow, I made some changes that it has to be 60% wide. Stupid me. Okay, we're done here. Now let's go back to the incognito. Okay, we don't have incognito. Let's just select all these. And if we just open it on the front page, we are seeing only the links because we already have our links. sorry, we already are logged in, so we'll only see this. But when we open the same link on incognito, this is incognito, you can see I'm not signed in here, then you will see this. You need to be logged in, you need to purchase, please purchase. Okay, let's say please purchase the bootcamp to get the login details. Let's add that. Come on, come on. Hmm. Please purchase the bootcamp to get the login details. What we will do is we will simply center everything here so that we can get some this little good looking effect. Purchase now. Okay. And also we need to add a login button. What we will do is we will wrap this in a div and let's put both of them in the same line, because if the user has bookmarked it and if he wants to access it quickly, then what we will do, custom login. What's happening here? Let's say we want this to be 40%. We have to center them. They're centered properly now. This looks okay for time being. I'm thinking that this will be fine. So if they click on purchase, they will go to learnwp.codeman.com, and if they click on login, they will go to the login page, and from there they can log in. So everything is fine. So for time being, I'm expecting this to be fine. But the last corrections to this would be the mobile versions, because everyone will be locking for mobile. Have to take care of mobile for sure. It is 100%. Again, let's go to Flex and let's center it. Hmm. How big it is? 26. Let's also make this 26. Why do I have so much padding here? The margin, I think there is so much margin. Okay. We are good to go. So we have created a login page. Now the only thing that is left is to create. The only thing that is left to create is to add all the users that you have paid for the bootcamp and create user accounts for them so they can access all these links easily. Now let's add a link. Let's go here and let's just add another day's link, because we did another day. Let's go ahead and let's add that one. Okay, we got the link. Let's just check this once. So this is the third day. Let's continue. Let's get actual link here. Copy it. Now where are we? So here we have to replace this with our new link, and let's just check that once. What? Okay, I don't want to do the dumb mistake that I can. I will just check everything if it's working in the same way or not. So the first link goes to day one, good. The second link goes to day two, fine. The third link,
You need to be joined.
third link goes to day three, then it's fine, everything is fine. So let's just add one more thing. Okay, we are done with this. Let's just save this. What we will do is, are we, okay, this is the day link that we have here. Let's just duplicate everything. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, we have 10 days of everything here. Okay, so smart person I am. All the 10 days things here. Okay, okay. We don't have anything here, so what we will do? Oh, come on. We already live. We're already live, so I will just get the link, paste that here. No, not this. We will also make one last change. So it is black. Copying the styles, and I'm going to paste them everywhere. So this is possible because of hydration pack. This, as I mentioned, these are one of the tools that I'm going to use when working with our websites. So this is the temporary solution that I actually thought of. This looks okay for time being. This is so bad. Okay, what we have to do, we have to get the day one's proper link, not this half-baked link. Hmm. Is it on 480? So 480 looks atrocious. Let's just get smaller days. If they are 16, let's just copy that. Copy style. Paste. 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 It would have been great if I had the foresight of adding some padding to it on mobiles. Margin bottom margin. We don't have anything like that. We didn't create anything here. So I will make those changes. I think we are done here. Like we were able to create some temporary stuff for us to use and for our users all our paid users who have, they can access the links here very easily. So I think we are good. We are very good. Okay, let's get started. Let's start our actual bootcamp now. Let me just close this. We just saved it again. We are closing this. This looks very bad, but it's like for time being, I think it will be fine. Okay, what's the time? Ooh. I'm sorry, I thought I did not have the big screen turned on. Okay, we will wait for, we have to start the webinar now, the bootcamp now. Today we are going to learn Flexbox. So to learn Flexbox, we are going to use a website. For one more person, hello Santosh, happy to have you here. Did you just join or did you join at 6:30 when we started our? Tell me, like, when did you join? Did you join just now or did you join while we were building the temporary solution for logging in and checking the links? Okay, it's fine, it's fine. This is what we are going to do. We are going to learn Flexbox. What I will suggest you, you also start learning with me. Like we will learn together how Flexbox works and other stuff, because Flexbox is very important when we are talking about. One second, let me get rid of this panel. Oh, what did I do here? Okay, just let me get the slides. So yesterday, I think you all remember that we closed by discussing box model. Today we are going to cover Flexbox Froggy. So not Flexbox Froggy, but we are going to learn about Flexbox. We will do that by understanding Flexbox Froggy. So this is the time where actual live stream begins, like actual fourth day of the bootcamp begins. We are going to learn Flexbox, and maybe we will dedicate an entire day in understanding what Flexbox is. It takes us around so this is the game that we are going to see. And as we go on, what we will do is we will try to understand what that means. So it's very easy to complete this just by following everything that has been mentioned here. But more than that, it is important to understand where it actually applies to when we are building our websites. And as this is an Oxygen bootcamp, it is very important for us to understand where the knowledge or the information that we gained from Flexbox Froggy where that applies to Oxygen Builder when we are building websites. That's the most important thing. We will also cover CSS Grid, but not in this bootcamp. I will get the content to you because CS Oxygen is going to ship you CSS Grid as tightly as Flexbox was created. Maybe not right out of the box, but as Oxygen progresses, I have strong faith that they will also have as good as as good as like how Flexbox is deeply working and incredibly working well with Oxygen. In the same way, CSS Grid will also work. We will take our sweet time in getting those content, CSS Grid educational content for you, but it will be there. Again, CSS Grid was not promised or not mentioned when we are creating this course and when we are advertising it for you. But it won't be the case. It's not like what we are going to give only the things that have said that we will give. CSS Grid will come, but it's not something I'm promising to give you immediately. So let's get started. Before that, let's also go to our Oxygen instance. I think it was Mosquito something. So long Mosquito was my Oxygen installation, temporary Oxygen installation. So I need to get access to that thing. Oh, wait. Namo. Okay, I have to log into this. Just let me check if I can log in directly. Okay, I went to the dashboard, so it means I should like, I logged in, so it's fine. Again, let's go to Sandbox and see if we can. Let's see if this works. I think it's already been like, this is the 4th day, so we still have like 3 more days to see if this at all works. Like, if it does not delete this after 7 days, do not expire this installation. Let's see how it goes. So what I was saying, what I was talking about understanding how Flexbox works with Oxygen. Let's go into Oxygen and we will move from Oxygen website and also to Flexbox Froggy, and we will try to compare how Oxygen Flexbox is and what options that you have and what you are learning from Flexbox Froggy. We will just compare them, and you can see that going on with learning Flexbox. So one more thing I would like to suggest is changing the layout dimensions. So by default, let me show you. Let me show it to you. So I don't want to let everything for your imagination. So let me show what I mean by changing the resolution of this layout. Okay. To go to in global settings, you have the width has, so we have the width as 1120. Let me show how did I go there. So in this entire thing is, these have so many useful features packed into very little space. So pay close attention. In manage, if you go to settings, you can see 3 different options. One is for page, one is global. You can either choose page or you can just go to global and select the width. I would recommend you put that as 1366 and click on save. So now you have a wider than normal page. If I add a section, then you can see that. So previously it was a little bit small, but now it's a little bit big. We added one section. Now let's add divs. Add another div. Let's add another div. So everything else went inside one another. Okay, let's get started. We just created a page where we have some elements to it. Okay, that's what we do. Now let's get to learning Oxygen. It's Flexbox Froggy. If I make some mistake, just pardon me, because I did not specifically prepare because I wanted to have a fresh mind. So like I did it like a couple of months back. I definitely completed the 24th challenge, which is the toughest of all. But again, there will definitely be some hiccups where my brain shuts up and I will make some mistakes. So important thing is to read everything that they are going to give us, because that's the only material that we are handed here. So this is Flexbox Froggy. Our intention while we are doing this is to take this frog and put that on the lotus leaf. Is that lotus leaf? Let's call this lotus leaf. A game where you, so that's the entire intention of the game. Sometimes it's green, sometimes it's blue, sometimes it's red, sometimes it's also different color, yellow. So welcome to Flexbox Froggy, a game where you help Froggy and friends by writing CSS code. Guide the frog to the lily pad. So it is lily pad. On to the right by using justify content property, which aligns items horizontally. So justify content means aligning items horizontally and accepts the following values. You can see every time, like there are some options where you can choose what do you want. So either it can be intermediate or expert. We will start with intermediate. When you hover over any element that you have here, they will give you some instructions. Like if it has an underline, you will get some instructions. So if you go over justify content, you are going to get some instructions. So this aligns flex items along the main axis. So by default it says flex start. So if you don't mention anything, that's how things will be. That will be flex start. You can also say things like flex end, center, space between, and space around. So these are the options that we have. Now you can see that the naming automatically makes sense. The naming makes sense. So flex start is, if you don't do anything, you can see it's lying to the left side. So again, one important thing that they don't mention explicitly is that they leave us, they ask us to understand it without saying it, is this entire thing that you see here, this entire blue thing is the pond. So this is the frog and this is the lily pad. So this entire thing you can see, this is pond, right? And the styles also are here. So hash pod, like the id pond, has display flex in it, and both of this is an element inside it. So this froggy is an element inside it. So this is the parent container, and whatever the elements that we have inside are the child elements. So flexbox is applied to the parent container, and there are some flexbox controls for child, but most of them are for parent. So we are going to apply styles for pond. It says display is flex. Now you can see when they say justify content, there are 5 options for it. One, start, flex end, center, space between, space around. So every element you can read about it. So flex start means the items will be aligned to the left side of the container, just like this. So flex end, it aligns the items to the right side of the container, and center means it aligns to the center. Space around, items display with equal spacing between them. So it is talking about items, but we just have a single item, so we will never be able to see if there is only one item what space between means and space around means. Again, justify content refers to the horizontal alignment but not the vertical one. So let's try one after the another. So we have to say flex. So we have to say justify content flex end. This is how we have to say. So how do you want to justify the content on horizontal axis? We want it to display flex end, but flex end is the right answer. Let's see if it's even the right answer. So justify content, you are saying flex end. So it is the right answer, but let's also try some other things that we have here. So we also have flex start. So it still stays there. We have an option called center. So it comes to the center. What we can do is we can also try space between. It does not make any difference. Let's add space around. It's so space around on equal spaces, like equal spacing around them. So this there is equal spacing around this froggy, so equal spacing to the left and the right, so it is automatically center aligned. So you understood this. Now let's see the same thing on oxygen. So this is a section which is the pond here, and this is the div. Let's add some height and weight, like 100 pixels by 100 pixels height, and also let's add some background color so it looks like some element. So this element by default is aligning to the left side, so this is flex start. Now if to control it, either we can use this which says horizontal item alignment, which you know what that means. So that means we're talking about flex. So if you don't want to control things from here, you can go to advanced, and in advanced you can see layout. First thing we have to select, this is already selected by default. So here in justify content we have 5 options. We can click on flex start, which aligns it to the right, flex space between, which does nothing, and if you do space around you can see that items are spaced equally, and if we go to center it's the same thing, and if we go to flex end, that's where we want our element to be. So it's literally the same thing here, but you can understand now, like justify content, this is how centering and everything works. Now you can center things, right? So we have to use justify when we want things to be centered. What we will do is we will make this entire section to be, how much do we want this? We want this to be viewport of 100%. So if it is viewport is 100%, and what will happen is it will take the entire place, like entire viewport. So this is your viewport, and this is view height, and this is view width. You are telling it to take the 100% of the view height. To easily understand if you're targeting the right element or not, let's just add some border to it, the darkest color that we can probably add. Let's add some width of, no, not 100, not definitely 100, 20 pixels of width, and it has to be solid so that we can see it. So this is how it will look on the front page. Now we have centered the element, so we have to go to layout. It is on display flex, it is saying center. You can also do flex end, flex start, and center, or space around and center are the same because there is only one element. Now let's go to second class. We understood how justify content works. It's saying you're wrong. Why are we wrong? Because it asked us to put it on the end. It's just flex end. That's it. Let's go to the next thing. So we have 2 elements now. Right now it will be very easy for us because we have learned something. We will understand the difference between flex center and flex space, like justify center and justify content center and justify content space around. So previously space around did help us put it on center, but here it won't work. So always use justify content to align things horizontally. Now what do we want to do this here? So we centered it. Now it's fine, it is centered. The same way, if we just duplicate it, let's duplicate this, but they are stacked like very close to each other. So we will add some margin to it. Now you can see that that's happening there. But now we want to align them center. It's cool, like it is on flex end. We can just put them on the center. Now you can try different elements. Like now we can see what's the difference between space between and space around. You see that, right? There is space around each element, but when you are saying space between, there is only space between the elements but not around the elements. That's important thing. Again, let's enter this stuff. Good. We're very good. We're done. So justify content, help all the 3 frogs justify content by using justify content, the lily pads have a lot of space around all of them. Now you have to use they are at different places. Now you have to put them at the right places. You can see this is it space around or space between. Let's try both of them. First, let's start by using the keyword which is justify content. Now let's put space around. It did work, but let's try space between, see what will happen. So there is only space between them but not around them. So that's why it's not working. It's working. We are going to use space around when there is equal, when we want some spacing, like equal spacing here, and also some spacing at the beginning. Let me show you one more thing. This works here, then it's fine. So this is spaced evenly, which means equal spacing in everywhere. So, but it's not even in oxygen, so it's fine. Space around. Let's go to next. Now lily pads are on the edge of the shore. Increase the spacing between them. Use justify content this time. Lily pads should have equal spacing between them. So if we want to have equal spacing between them, we want the, let's start with justify content. So we want equal spacing. Space. So this space is equal to this space, and there is no space at the beginning. So then we are going to use space between. We can start by adding one more element here. Let's also do the same thing they did. Let's add another darker blue, maybe. No, it doesn't. Okay, let's just. Okay. So here we go. We have three colors. Now let's center them properly. Centered them. Okay, now we have align items. So we have understood justifying is horizontal. So if we want to align things, aligning is on vertical axis. So you can see the pond is not just on x axis, but it is also on y axis. So when we want to do that, we use align items. So align also has something very similar to it. So align has flex start, flex end, center, baseline, and stretch. So we will try each one, but before that, let's just read what is here. So flex start aligns the items to the top of the container, just like this. So flex end, they will go to the bottom of the container. I think that's what we want. So centering items will align them vertically, and items baseline items display the baseline of the container. We have to see what's the difference between bottom and baseline. So stretched items, they are stretched to fit the container. Let's try one after the another. So the keyword here is not justify content but align items. Let's start. It is by default it is flex start. Now let's do flex end. They are there, but let's work with everything. The center, flex center. We don't want flex center. We may want baseline. The baseline of the container. Let's just see what does that mean. we have to go with our only Bible that we have. So here we have to search for baseline. So this is baseline. So all flex items are aligned such that their flex box baselines align. The item will be the largest distance from crop. Okay. This is like too much. Okay, let's just let it be baseline. Bye bye baseline. We're not going to learn you. Just look at stretch. What is the spelling of stretch? It's doing nothing. Let's just go back and let's see what options that we have here. Give me 1 second. Okay, got one CSS, one live preview where we can see everything in an editor. Let's go to the right side. So I got this from this page. So from csstricks.com to better understand the baseline and stretch options. So when we are working with stretch, what it will do, it will make it full width instead of just the, if they are not forced to have specific width, then they will be stretched to full width. Okay. And there is one demo right here. So the red list is flex start, yellow list is flex end. What we want is flex. We want to see green and pink. Okay, we want to see the green and pink. Where do you have the green and pink? So this is green and this is pink. So green is baseline. So everything is aligned to have the same baseline, and stretch says everything has to start from the beginning to the end. So to see that in our website, maybe if we just get rid of the height property, so every div that we have is also having some very specific height. So if we just get rid of the height, and let's just go here and let's do stretch. So there you go. So if we were forcing it to take only 200 pixels of height, but if we just get rid of that 100 pixels of height, if we just get rid of that and just call it stretch, so what will happen is it will try to fit the entire container. So that's what's happening here. Now we have some cool looking M logo or something. Again, let's just go through the one thing which it still does not make sense, but if you look at this example, it definitely makes sense. So every element that is here, FOOO, which is like there is some content there, and they all have a baseline where they start. So their baseline, the content baseline in all that elements which are inside the same parent will have their baselines aligned. It doesn't matter if it is a full height, like it is having full width height, it doesn't matter. They will just try to start from the same baseline. That's what it means. Okay, Let's get back to our Flexbox Froggy. We don't want stretch, but we want them to go to the flex end. They're at flex end. Now let's continue. So they are saying lead the frog to the center of pond using a combination of justify content and align items. So we have to center both of them. Let's just center both of them. It is like horizontally and vertically it is centered. So just let's go to justify content to be center. Now align items should also be centered. Now we did it. If we don't do it, if it is flex start, stay there. If it is flex end, it will go somewhere else. So instead of that, we just center it properly and that's it. So this is how we can properly center everything. So here you can see that there are like 3 elements which, well, let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of the stretch. If we center both of them, then you can see what's happening here. The problem is we have deleted the height, so that's why they are like behaving odd. Now add some height. Now you can see what it will do if we are centering both. We are centering vertically and also horizontally. We're doing the same thing. This is good. Let's go to the next chapter and see what's happening. Frog needs to cross the pond again because they don't have any other things to do. This time for some lily pads with plenty of space around, use a combination of justify content and align items. So they have to be at the bottom, that is align flex end, and they have to be spaced around. That's what we want. First, let's take them to the bottom. Align items. We want them to be at flex end. They're the flex end, but they have to have some space between them. Justify content, space around will make them have some spacing around them. This is done. Now let's get back to our 8th thing. Do you want me to do the same thing here? It's pretty easy. So we want it to be at the bottom and we want it to have space between. We want to have some space around them. So it's very easy. If we have these controls, we can see what we are doing right, what we are doing wrong. So Flexbox Froggy, they want to travel again. So there is one thing Flexbox, like the frogs needs to, in the same order as the little flex, it's called flex direction. This CSS property defines the direction of items are placed in a container and accepts following values. So they are saying you can see that the green has to be here, the red has to be at the starting, but here we have the green at the starting, but the red is at the ending. We have to reverse them. So there is an option to reverse them that is called flex direction. You can do the row, which is default. You can do the row column and row reverse and also column reverse. First thing we have to see, how does column looks? Right. So we can see the column places them vertically instead of horizontally, but we don't want this. We want it to be of row reverse. Now they are reversed in terms of row. That's it. We can get the same thing here, but it is way easier to do. Like we don't have to write anything. So by default they are row. If you want to align them column wise, then you have this. You can also reverse them. This is row. We can row reverse them. We are saying this because we did not add proper margins to stuff. Now let's add margin, and also let's also add bottom margin. So when we are doing the flex direction as row, things will be fine. Now if we just go back and in flex, if we have river column, you can see they're properly aligned. There we go. Let's enter them. So there we have it. So we were able to get some grasp of it. Now let's go to the next chapter. We have to use flex direction. CS property defines the direction. Container. Now you can see what's happening here. We have to change the flex direction to from row to column. Flex direction. We want it to be column. It's done. So easy once we understand the very fundamentals of it. Help the frogs get to other lily pads. Although they seem close, it will take both flex direction and justify content to get them there. Is it so? Notice that when you use the direction to a reverse row or column, start and end are also reversed. So what's happening here is, okay, let's see. So we want the flex direction to be row reverse. So the start and end has changed, but we want the justify content to be flex start. Justify content has to be flex start. Now I think it has to be flex end. Okay, that's what they were saying, that the flex end and flex start will also be reversed because the entire direction has changed. That's one thing that we have to keep in mind. Let's do this chapter again. So the first thing we have to change how we are understanding stuff. When we change the flex direction, it not only changes the elements position, but the entire column is also reversed. Like direction of a row is reversed, row or column, starter and also are reversed. So in flex direction, when we are doing row reverse, this entire element has moved to the starting and ending has changed. Now what we have to do is we have to use justify content. Instead of using start, we have to use flex end. That's what they are mentioning there. Flexbox direction, justify content. Now we have to use justify content changes. Notice that when the flex direction is column, changes to the vertical and align items to the what? Justify content changes to the vertical and align items to the horizontal. Is it so? Let's look at this. So one thing we have to first reverse it. No, the flex direction has to be column. It's done. Now normally what we will do is we will just align items flex start. That's what I was saying. Right, content flex start work because they are already at the start. The flex end will work. Let's read this again. When the notice that when flex direction is column, it is column. Justify content changes to vertical and align items changes to horizontal. what we always thought justify content is for aligning items horizontally, and we know that justify content is for justifying content horizontally in this x direction, but align items are for vertical things. But now when we reverse it, when we use column, it changes. So everything is completely reversed. So if we want to, like, I think we will get to it slowly, but just remember what they just highlighted. So if the flex direction is column, justify content becomes align items, and align items becomes justify content. That's what they're saying. That's what they wanted us to clearly understand. Help the frogs find the lily pads using flex direction and justify content. So this is where we have to do it properly. First thing, we have to reverse this stuff because they're obviously reverse. We have to use flex direction, and we want them to be column reverse, so they are properly done. But this is vertical, right? We have to this is vertical alignment, and we have to space them properly, but we cannot do that. That's why we will use justify content and put space between them. That's how, friends, we are going to get a good grasp of it. We understood that it is not alignment even though it is vertical. After we have reversed, after we have made the direction to be column, it the justify becomes align, and align becomes justify. So that's how the properties changes, and without actually making a mistake, we did complete this. Congratulations to all of you. Now what we have to do is, you can see, first thing, we have to reverse that. Using the lily pads, we have to do the flex direction, we have to use justify content, and we have to use align items. If you notice slowly, instead of having one simple statement, they are compounding everything, making us write more stuff. Earlier it was just first let's they are flex direction is just row reverse. They're reversed. Now everything is same. Like we are not reverse. Like we are not changing from column, like from row to column. So it's not completely reversed. But we are in this chapter. They are just asking us to remember things that we have already learned. So first thing, we have to bring this thing horizontally to the center. So to do that, we know what we have to do. We have to justify content to flex. Let's just look at it. There is no flex center, guys. It's just center. Now they're centered. Now what we have to do is align those items to flex. And that's good. We're in a good. What are they doing? This is very important. So we have one thing which, if we just select, where was it? If we, when we are, this is flex parent. If we just go to flex child, and if we just go to the flex, then you will get all these elements. So you can see there is order, there is grow, there is shrink. We will cover order in this. So order is covered here. So order just says where you want that element to be. Sometimes reversing the row or column order of a container is not enough. In those cases, we can apply order property to individual items. By default, they are set to 0, but we can use property to also set it to positive or negative integer, like -2, -1, 0, 1, 2. Use the order property to reorder the frogs to their lily pads. We want the yellow, this is the red one, right? We want the red one to the second place. Let's just see. Let's just explore. Let's first put 0. Nothing is happening. Let's put 1. Now it's moving 1 to the left. If you just move it to There's nothing is happening. So the yellow has more to -1. Let's just see what's happening. This is by default. We are targeting yellow. So if we just ask yellow to order of 1, it's moving 1 to the right. If we ask it to move to 1 to the left, it's moving to the left, and that is coming. Okay, let me tell you what's happening here. So this is 0. So this is its place, which is 0. This is +1 and this is -1. So that's what's happening there. So if it is 2, there is no, it doesn't make sense because there are no 2 places inside, there are no 2 childs. So if it is 1, it's moving to 1 to the right. 0 means it is going to stay at its own place. And if it is -1, then it's going to the left. 0, its own place. But what do we want? We want it to move to the right. So 1 is positive and it goes to the right side. So that's how we use order. Let's also use order for us. So the order is, let's say we are here, this one is here, let's just move it. The order is 1 to the right, there is no right. So if it moves -2, so it goes there. So we can control like a individual child's position walking by using, one second, where is layout has out of -2, which we don't want it to be, just delete that. Let's go to next. We want this red go to the right one. So we know this is 0, -1, -1, this is -3. We just have to choose order has to be -3 and just be done with it. Simple as is. We can actually target one every single element. Like here you can see they are asking us to move this to. Another property you can apply to individual element is align self. This property accepts the same values as align items and it values for the specific item. What we want this to be aligned to the bottom right. So align, it is called self. It works just the same way as align items. We want it to be at flex end. So it goes to the bottom. The only thing is it has to have the same width as everything. We have the same thing here. Let's say we want this, the blue one, to go to the bottom. So again, let's go to flex. You can see flex grow, flex shrink. Align self, you can see that you can put that as center. You can put that to the right, left, stretch. It's stretch which works, stretch will work for sure. The problem is we are still forcing it to take some width. So if we don't do that and if we ask it to stretch, then it will stretch. We can align it to the center like this, left, auto and stuff. We have asked it to align to the flex end. Now it is asking us to use order and align self to do that. So we have to use flex end, definitely align self flex end. But let's see how we can move these elements to the right. The easiest thing, I think it would be just add +2 and be done with it. So they are coming to the right side because it's +2 means moving to the right and minus means moving to the left. Now we have to flex, not flex, align self. They have to be at flex and that's it. There you go, there you go, there you go. So this is one very important thing, which is flex wrap, which we do not use in, yes, we do not actually use it. But I think it's good to know. Yes, it is always good to know anything here. Okay. Oh no, flocks are squeezed. frogs are squeezed on a single row of lily pads. Spread them out using the flex wrap property, which accepts the following values. So by default, it's no wrap, which means everything that you add will be there, will be like stuck there. Even though they are not looking at their best, they will still be trying to stick at the same place. So it starts with no wrap. The default is no wrap. You can wrap them and also you can wrap reverse them. First thing we will see like how flex wrap works. So flex wrap, let's just ask it to wrap itself. Now you can see that they have wrapped. That means whatever the space that they are taking initially, if that is overflowing, that they're going to the new line. So that's what wrap means. Let's also see what wrap reverse mean. So they are wrapped, but the entire thing is reversed. So this is where we are going to fight the boss. Let's do flex wrap wrap and see how it's working. Right now we have a problem like entire elements are displayed on row, but we want them to be column. Let's do that. To do that, we have to change the flex direction to column. Now we have everything is done properly. Let's try wrap reverse in this. We're good to go. We have reached the challenge. The two properties flex direction and flex wrap are often used. That shorthand is flex flow was created to combine them. This shorthand property accepts value of one of the two parameters separated by a space. So what they're saying is we are using flex direction to change the direction and also whether you want them to wrap or not. So there is a combined thing which is called flex flow, which says in which direction you want to flow it in and do you want to wrap that flow or not. So let's experiment with it. So it is flex flow. Sorry. So one thing we are trying to do here is you can either do column. So you can do. Okay, let's just wrap them first. So that's what we did. We did row wrap here, and here we did column wrap. And we can also do. We did like default is no wrap. We can also do the row reverse. So if you watch carefully, what's happening with row reverse is any reverse is so the elements are aligned here. So the elements are starting from the left side. Instead of the left side, reverse actually starts it from the right side of the screen. See, the spacing is here. It's not like they're going to take the position like the red ones will not come to the yellow ones will not come to the position of green ones. So these positions are not changing, but the entire thing is reversing itself. So that's one thing I just noticed. So we are at 21. We are going at a very good pace. Now this is so everything will start becoming a little bit complicated, but I think it looks pretty simple. They have alien items. They are flex starting. Okay, the frogs are separated all over the pond, but the lilies are bunched at the top. We can see that. You can use align content to set how multiple lines are spaced apart from each other. This property takes the following values. So we used align items. So that just says you are asking it to start, but again, we are not specifying how much space we can take vertically. So to do that, we have an option which is called align items. That's what we are going to use. Okay. Instead of that, we can use align content. And align content takes multiple values like flex start, flex end, center, space between, space around, and stretch. Let's look. We know the answer is flex start, so we will use flex end. They are sticking to the bottom side. Now let's look at center. Good. Let's look at space between. That's space between. Let's also see stretch. Stretch does not mean anything. Does not mean anything because they are like very tightly, like they have very specific width and stuff. Does not matter. Now let's do the answer, which is flex start. So the problem is I have finished all the answers. Now this is the question. Let's see how this is like. We know this, right? This is align content, and that is flex and that's it. Flex direction. So it is asking us to use couple of properties together, which is flex direction and also align content. So we can see the flex direction is this is row and we want it to be column reverse. Flex direction is column reverse. Okay. And we have to align the content center. See, that's because align actually takes care of vertical alignment, but now as we have reversed the column, like as we have made the row to column, the align things takes the align becomes justify and justify becomes align. So that's where it's working for us. Now we are at the boss stage. Have to take care of each and everything here. This will definitely take me some good time. So first thing we have to wrap. Can we wrap reverse? So flex wrap. That's and also we need the flex direction to be column reverse. Oh, that's bad. Or is it row reverse? Okay. Let's get back to the drawing board. So this is for sure. We need that to be okay. I think before that, I think we need to do this. Yep. Now let's do flex reverse. There you go, guys. There you go. See, the only thing that is left for us is to center them. How we are going to do that? And also align content. I think we can use space between to do that. Okay, we did it. We did it. We did it. So let's just go back to the drawing board. let's understand what's at our let's understand what is at stake here. So we have elements which are stacked very stupidly. If we ever want to go, if we ever want the answer, it is already here. Let's just copy and paste it somewhere so I don't mess things up. Okay. So there are a couple of things which are very important. First thing, we definitely have to wrap this. And it is, okay, let's first wrap this. Flex wrap has to be wrapped. It is wrapped. But also we need to change the direction, which is flex direction also has to change. It has to be column. Yep. And I think it has to, we have to reverse the column because, and we also have to reverse the wrap. I hope this part is very easy to digest. Now, normally we use justifying content for horizontal alignment, but as we are using column and reverse, we are going to use justify content to horizontally space things, not horizontally but vertically space things. Align content, so justify takes center. Now that's so justify normally works on horizontal things, but to centrally align this thing like this frogs, we are using justify content. To close this, we have to use align content, and we know that aligning content is only for vertical, but now is for horizontal. Yes, to vertically have space between them, we are going to use align content. That's happening because we are reversing column, like we are using column and we are also reversing elements. So we did this. We have learned Flexbox using Flexbox Froggy. We have learned like very different elements in it. Okay. Where are we? We are at, we have covered things which are from here. But now let's cover, we have understood what order means. So by using order, we can either move to the left or to the right. Okay, I was selecting the wrong element. I want the blue one to go to the left. So left is positive, not the, okay, the right is, this is -2. So this is like this is like a real number line. How we have 0 in the middle, right elements are positive and the left elements are negative. So this will take both the negative and positive values. Let's go to layout, display flex. Let's, if 0 is normal, and let's do 1, which moves to the left, which is 3. So positive numbers take it to the right and negative numbers take it to the left. Positive numbers take it to the right, negative numbers take it to the left. That's why we have it. So flex grow and flex shrink actually says how big or like how much they will grow if they have space and how much they will shrink if they don't have enough space. Let's say if we want this element to grow on a factor of 2 when they have enough space. Let's duplicate things again. Now let's look at this. Let's go to layout and in display flex we can just add 1. And if we are adding more things in it, you can see the elements are becoming smaller, but we can tell this div to have the same space no matter what. And we can say it has to shrink 3 times more than the other elements, or maybe 4 times more. I was thinking like, okay, let me get rid of this. I was thinking like I will end this here. It's just 1.5 hours, I know, but I'm a little bit tired and I want to take some break from the weekend. I will come back tomorrow. We will do a 3-hour stream instead of 1 hour. Okay, let me get rid of this. It's distracting us a lot. So we have completed Flexbox Froggy. Maybe I will cover the order and grow tomorrow. Leaving a little bit for tomorrow. I will go like I'm not feeling that good now. I will just go quickly. We did like 1 hour stream for bootcamp and half-an-hour stream for building that page. And also I will then that's it for today. I'm really sorry I didn't want to end it abruptly, but I'm a little bit tired. See you tomorrow. Don't mind, please don't mind that this is abrupt, but tomorrow we will do a 3-hour stream. See you tomorrow. I wanted to discuss what makes a good hosting, but I think we will also postpone it for tomorrow. Have a great day. Thanks a lot for coming, even in the weekend, or maybe you still didn't get your weekend. Who knows? Who knows? Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot again. Thank you, Santosh, for coming in. Have a great day, everyone. See you tomorrow. We will do a 3-hour stream tomorrow. We will build some crazy stuff. Maybe we will start building some good stuff from tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye. See you soon. Bye bye. Let me add the traditional banner that we have here.